I did some sketching lately, not garment sketching, but handbag sketching. So if you guys remember, I did a video a few weeks ago on this canister. It's 3D printed. My dad made this for me. It's a really cool concept, and I thought it would be cool to turn this into like little canister handbag things. Also, I had these lids. My dad made these lids that have my logo on the inside of them, so I thought that was pretty cool. This is what it kind of inspired me to sketch. Also, the garments that I last sketched were these armor-inspired garments. I was working with this structured fabric that was the bamboo viscose plated with one end of elastic. So that fabric was this one side that was super structured and kind of stands up on its own, and that's bamboo viscose with one end of Lycra. And this side is just the bamboo viscose. You can see it's very soft and drapey, and it just kind of lays no matter how you hold it. It kind of flops over on itself, and this side's very structured. That's with the Lycra. So I was kind of leaning towards the side with the Lycra because it creates this really nice structure of garments. It kind of made me think of armor, so I was a little bit inspired by armor when I did these last sketches. So I thought, okay, let me kind of continue with that concept of armor and sketch some handbag shapes. That might be interesting. I sketched some shapes that are reminiscent of, what are they called, shields, like when you hold up a shield to protect yourself. So I kind of did basic shapes of the shields where they're sort of, well, either sometimes they come up to a point at the top and then they're kind of straight on the sides, and then they also kind of come down to a point at the bottom. That rough shape, I did that in these handbag designs. Also the concept of the shield where it kind of curves around your body. Shields are not always like straight across. I guess they can be, but I thought it was really nice that shields sort of curve around your body a little bit. They're a little bit curved. So the purse shapes I kind of did so that they're kind of flat, but then also they kind of curve a little bit. So when they sit on your hip, they kind of curve around your body. They're not completely flat and straight. So if you have it on your side, same thing, it will kind of curve around your hip a little bit. So these are the first shapes that I did that are kind of inspired by the shape of a shield. The second page that I did, I just sort of kept developing that concept of kind of a shield shape. And I also did some other simple shapes that I was just kind of, how is this going to work if we do a square or a circle or a sphere, or I think this is called a rhombus. It's kind of like a tilted square. So I did those shapes and then just kind of curving them around the body. That was really hard for me to sketch. These kinds of sketches feel a little bit more architectural than clothing. So this was a little bit difficult for me to sketch, and the concept of curving it around the body was a little bit hard for me to get, but these would just be for my dad. So obviously I could just talk to him and tell him. I don't feel like the sketches have to be super accurate, which is kind of nice for me. So I'm working on that, and maybe I'll get a few samples made out of those shapes and we can see how those kind of look. The other thing that I'm not sure about those, I'm not even sure if we're going to keep going with the armor concept inspiration, just because I'm having a lot of trouble finding the Lycra yarn needed to make this really structured fabric. I'm having trouble finding Lycra in the United States that comes in really small quantities. It's just been really tough. Which Lycra, the company Lycra, is in the United States, so you wouldn't think it would be that hard, but for some reason it is that hard, and they don't sell small quantities. So there's a few options. Number one, I do want to continue like 1 or 2 more days looking for Lycra yarn that's in the United States and they can take small quantities and it's stock yarn and all that good stuff. I am being realistic and that really might not happen. So the next option would be, if we can't find it in the States, option 1 would be to use my supplier that I used in China and have it shipped here, which I'm not looking forward to. I think that can be really, really expensive. The shipping charges can easily cost more than the actual yarn does. That's one option. The second option would then be to just not use Lycra yarn. We just move in a different direction. So one thing I'm thinking about is just using just the bamboo viscose yarn, just one fiber. We could do a whole collection that's just one fiber. I mean, I was going to do a whole collection that was just 2 fibers, so we could do a whole collection that's just one fiber, and that would be totally fine. I do have some garments here that I made a long time ago, which are the bamboo viscose. And these were actually made on this machine. And you can see, this is just like a tank top. It's hard to see because it's white. It's like a racerback tank top. But you can just see when I move it around and fold it around, it's super drapey. This is just the bamboo viscose by itself. It's really drapey. It's really soft. It has a ton of movement to it. So it's really nice, but it just doesn't go with the concept of armor and structure and volume and shape. This would be a very different concept. That's all. We could go in this direction. we might go in that direction. And this is another tank top I made that's also made out of the bamboo viscose. It just has some extra design details on it. I did some playing around with short rowing. That's why you see these kind of weird shapes happening. Yeah, they're kind of like weird shapes. And there's also beading on it, beading and different other fibers striped in. Kind of an interesting tank top. It has an asymmetrical neckline. Yeah, and same thing, this is also very drapey. It's the same bamboo viscose. It's also knitted on this machine. It is a little bit tighter tension than the other tank tops, so the fabric feels a little bit more tight, just kind of together. When you just visually look at it, it kind of appears to have the same amount of drape as the looser tension tank top. I'm thinking we might go with just the bamboo viscose if the Lycra concept does not pan out. I'm also thinking about there's other things, we could just do cotton. Cotton naturally is already a little bit more structured than bamboo viscose is, and cotton might be a little more durable. Cotton's just more common and well-known. So we could do a whole collection that's just cotton. There is also a really nice linen yarn, which we could also do a whole collection that's just linen. This yarn is really great because it comes in a lot of different colors in the bamboo viscose. So I'm kind of excited about choosing really kind of unique colors, because another thing I wanted to play with in this collection was colors, just kind of hopefully an interesting color palette. And I know that should be quite possible with this yarn because there are a lot of choices in this yarn. I think the linen yarn also has a decent amount of color choices. The cotton, I'm not sure. I'd have to find a cotton that has a lot of color choices. That's kind of where I am with the collection, kind of in this annoying, frustrating place where it's like, I just can't find the yarn that I want to use, which is kind of the most annoying place. Once we get over this sort of hump, it'll be a lot more smooth sailing, hopefully. Now we have the yarn that we are able to order easily, hopefully some yarn somewhere, and we can move on to like more development, doing proto samples, and doing more fun development and designing. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with all of your fashion design friends or people that like watching a collection being designed. Like this video, comment below, let me know what you think of my development, I guess, or let me know what you're working on. Actually, let me know what kind of yarn you like. Let me know if you like the bamboo viscose with the Lycra, or if you like the bamboo viscose without the Lycra, if you like it more structured, or if you like it more drapey and soft. I'm curious to see what you guys like in your knitwear. Let me know also if you like cotton better, or if you like linen better. What kind of fibers you guys are normally drawn to wear? That could potentially help me out with just kind of knowing what direction might be best to go in. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep following along with the development of this collection. And if you want to keep adding your input, I hope you do. It honestly kind of helps me out to have some other opinions out there, just hearing what other people are interested in. And if I have a few options, like help me choose one. Help me choose one, please. So thanks, bye.